Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Crumbl Mumbl podcast. Stoked that you're here. Can't wait to talk to you today about all things cookies and sports. Today, we have a guest with us. Golic Jr. is here with us all the way from LA. So excited to have you. Thank you for being here.
Excited to be here. Pumped to stop talking about sports for a little bit and start talking about cookies, which is much more in line with my personal passion.
Oh, good. We're glad to hear it. That's great. Will you just give us a little background on you?
So I played college football at Notre Dame.
Love.
Was an offensive lineman there, so spent a lot of my life eating lots of cookies. Big dessert guy, come from a big dessert family.
Yes.
I ended up finishing that and then started working at ESPN in 2015. Was there for 6.5 years and then recently just left from a variety of roles, radio, television, commentating for college football games, and now took a job actually doing a podcast. So just like this with the folks over at DraftKings. So I do a daily podcast called Gojo for them. We do all sports, but certainly right now in the fall, a lot of college football, a lot of NFL, and also get to call some college football games on radio. So a little bit of everything. Variety's the spice of life.
Yeah, we love that. And I think it's crazy you do a daily podcast because we do this podcast twice a week, and there's a lot that goes into it. You do one every single day.
Every day, but I always have to preface it. I did sports talk radio for the last 6.5 years.
Yeah.
And would do a daily show. The last one I was on was 3 to 7 p.m. Eastern afternoon drive time show. So I was doing 4 hours of sports talk radio a day.
Every day.
And so now an hour and a half podcast is a cakewalk.
It's a breeze.
Sitting and doing that. So.
Or a cookie walk. Okay, but yes, that is crazy. Wow. So cool. So the reason you got on our radar originally is because you defended us hardcore on Twitter one day. I actually had a friend send me a screenshot of your tweet. And he said, look, this guy is defending Crumbl. And I said, oh my gosh, that's so cool. And then I looked at your profile. I was like, oh yeah. I was like, he's awesome. And then I loved also, so the thread was about, there was some controversy about Crumbl that day. Right. There was a little bit of
haters on the internet.
There was a little bit of hate. Yeah. Which is okay. Like we've talked about this before. We have so many flavors and they rotate every single week. We know we're not going to make everyone happy every single week. And we actually like to hear feedback about if you hate or you love the cookies. But that was an especially heated day on the internet for Crumbl.
Yeah, it was one of those days the internet kind of picks a main character, a main topic every day, and I always relish on the days where it's not something super serious. And while the business of cookies is a serious one, it was something that I looked and saw, and at the core of it, you're right, constructive feedback, awesome. We love that.
Yeah.
But I felt like it was hating on people who are trying things. And that's my thing that I like about Crumbl is trying a lot of different ideas. You guys pump out a lot of different cookies, a lot of different variety. And to hate on someone for trying something as opposed to just staying in one very narrow lane seemed kind of lame to me. And so I had to make sure that Crumbl knew I had their back.
Yeah, well, we really appreciated it. Yeah, because we obviously take a lot of risks with our flavors. Take some big swings.
What better place to take risks than in the category of desserts and cookies?
Yeah, exactly. Right.
This should all be about risk. It should be about trying to make the funnest cookie possible. And yes, funnest is a word, or at least it will be on this podcast.
It is now. Yeah, I say it is now. I say it counts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we appreciate it. And I remember you tweeted, and then Russell Wilson commented. Something I don't remember, something arbitrary, and then your response was, oh, he must have tasted some of that sweet goodness. I just thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, listen,
it was amazing.
Everyone has their eyes open at a different point in time.
Yeah,
and that's what I always feel like is the people that are hating about it maybe just haven't found the Crumbl cookie for them. And it's a reminder that you don't just do anything once. You come back, you try a little bit more. That's why you got all the options. And so just I encourage people, variety. Again,
yeah, exactly.
Let some of it into your life, especially when it's shaped like a cookie.
Exactly. Thank you. I did see on your Instagram, though, you once on camera, did you eat a cookie dipped in mayonnaise?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah. So I was a part of the broadcast for the Duke's Mayo Bowl, which is...
Okay.
So they had that game, and their whole deal in that was at the end of the game, a lot of college football bowl games have fun sponsorships, have food-based sponsorships, and people had started dumping the food namesake instead of, like, you know how coaches get a Gatorade bath after a game.
Classic.
They had been getting Cheez-It baths, or they had been getting baths and French fries for the famous Idaho Potato Bowl.
Okay.
the Mayo people decided they wanted to take it a step further and douse the winning coach in mayonnaise. And so, since mayonnaise was the theme of the day, my broadcast partners, Anish Shroff and Taylor McGregor, thought we would take this a step further and see what wild things that we could dip in mayonnaise. And so, we did a donut, we did a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, but the one that definitely got noticed was the cookie. And I ended up that day making enemies with the entire nation of Australia and R&B legend Dionne Warwick, who said I should be suspended with pay, which is very kind of her.
Hey, I feel like that's generous.
That's a vacation.
Like it could have been much harsher. Yeah, that is a vacation.
Yeah, so Dionne Warwick wanted to give me a vacation because she saw me eat a cookie covered in mayonnaise on TV.
How many people can say that?
Not many. Not many. It's a strange lane I've carved out for myself, but you know, God bless the broken road that led me here to this podcast.
To these pink chairs. Yeah. That's so great. So something that Crumbl's done recently, we are now America's game day dessert. Right? So there's, you know, when you talk about game day, right? There's like, you've got your wings, you got your nachos, you got your drinks, everything, right? But usually people don't think about putting sweets in there. You know, and I think some people do. Maybe they put like, I don't know, throw in some kettle corn popcorn, or maybe they have some kind of like homemade brownies or something. But Crumbl is now part of the game day spread. And you, as a person who's very inundated in the sports world, what are your thoughts?
Well, and
what are your thoughts?
So this has been the part of my life. So I mentioned I played college football, which meant for so long I didn't get to tailgate. And when I graduated and got to start going back, that was one of the things that I immediately became impressed with, was how my friends managed to get through an entire day in a tailgate lot and then go into a game. And part of that you realize is you got to make sure you're fueling up. And you also have to make sure you come to the tailgate bearing gifts. And I can't cook very well in a lot of aspects of my life. So I always thought I'll be the dessert guy at the tailgate.
Yeah.
I'll bring something over. And the reason Crumbl and cookies work so well at a tailgate is because you're moving around. You got other things in your hands. And so if you're bringing something homemade like brownies, or you've got something a little more overwrought out there, it's kind of hard to be, you know, hands-on with. Crumbl, super mobile, super easy.
Yeah.
You can do what my family does, and you break them. We always get a box of them and then break them up into quarters so that everyone can have a little piece of all the different flavors. You can try them all out, which is incredibly conducive to a tailgate.
Yeah, exactly. Do you guys use the cookie cutter to put them in quarters?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Some people don't know that we have these, but they're a little device that will just easily cut your cookies. When I found out they existed, it just changed my life.
But and you know what? It's the little hacks like that, because dessert and sports, I think, go hand in hand together. Like my favorite memory, or one of my favorite memories, playing college football, when I first got to Notre Dame, our head coach was Charlie Weiss, and the night before games, so I'm a redshirt freshman. I'm not playing on the field that year. I'm going to have another year of eligibility. And the night before games, when we would go all and stay in the hotel, so we'd be off campus and kind of in our own separate bubble, they'd have a snack the night before games they would put out when we were all done with meetings. And when Coach Weiss was there, we had cookies and milkshakes and ice cream up there. And I'm a 300-pound 18-year-old kid who just literally a kid in a candy store at that point. And so cookies the night before games was a ritual. And even later on, when we would have night games, we would have like a 4-hour gap in between our meetings and then when we were getting ready to head over to the stadium. And we would always have lunch at the same time. And I would go down there, and it'd be me and a couple of my close friends on the team, and we'd go and have lunch. And it would be barbecued chicken and then cookies and milk after every single time. Every single time.
I don't think I've ever had that combo of food in my life.
No, I did have one of our quarterbacks, a good friend of mine named Dane Christ, used to actually butter his cookies.
What?
Yes.
Wait, what do you mean? Wait, we need more detail. Butter as in like would take a butter knife.
Oh yeah, because I mean,
butter.
We got the full array of stuff in there. Like college football teams, they bring all this stuff on the road so you can eat the same thing everywhere you go. Which means you got all the utensils and condiments. And so we'd go down there. He would pick up the cookies, and then he would grab one of the knives there, and he would just sit and butter his cookies.
And then just eat it like that.
Hammer away.
I just feel like cookies already have so much butter in them.
They do.
It wasn't enough for the man. He needed more.
No,
he needed more.
He needed more butter in his cookies. It paired really well with the milk. It was essentially like a lunchroom snack for a bunch of elementary school kids.
Yes.
We just happened to be 20-year-olds who had been trained in a college weight room to go play football.
Okay, there you go. I love it.
Yeah, that's it. Gotta find ways to replenish the calories. He wanted to add a little butter to the cookie.
I'm feeling like we could take some inspiration from you guys. The butter topping, the mayo dipping. There's a lot of variety coming out of this.
That's what I'll always tell people about the mayo cookie thing too, is I promise you, it tasted better than you expect.
Okay.
So
you know what? I'll call our R&D team. See if we can get that in the works. We'll put it in testing.
There we go. Dionne Warwick, I'm sorry in advance if this gets greenlit. Please look away from this one. Again, they have a lot of different flavors. You don't have to go for the mayo one if you don't want to. No one's going to force you.
Hey, but you do get vacation.
Yes.
Right? So,
yeah,
I mean...
if you want to encourage my current employer to give me paid vacation again, I won't be mad at that.
Yeah, I feel like it's a win-win for you.
Yeah, I remember looking at that. I'm going, you know what? Miss Dionne, that's very kind of you. I appreciate that. Could have been a lot worse.
Totally. So what was your first time trying Crumbl? I'm always interested to hear this because some people, it's a different story every time, obviously. So what was your first time trying Crumbl like?
So this is actually hilarious. So, my whole family is big Crumbl fans. And my sister and her husband and my mom and dad all live out in Scottsdale. And so they've had a Crumbl by
Arizona?
Scottsdale, yes.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they lived out there and they've had a Crumbl cookie by them for a long time and raved about it. They were the ones that kind of introduced our whole family to Crumbl.
Gotcha.
And so one of the times when I was out there visiting them, I hadn't had it yet. Mm-hmm. And so I was driving to pick something else up. And I saw there was a Crumbl cookie right by there. And I pulled over and I was like, all right, I have a decision to make here. Either I can spend and wait a bunch of time to find out what all my family wants from here, what they would like in the order, how many cookies I should get, all this information.
Exhausting.
Or I can just walk inside, order myself 2 cookies, walk into the car, eat them there, and then none of my family will ever know I was there. None of them will need to know about this ever happening. And so I went and ate the first time I had Crumbl was in Scottsdale, and I sat in my car, I ate the cookies, and I made no mention that this will probably be the first time my family is hearing about the fact that I completely neglected their feelings in my trip to Crumbl.
Oh my gosh. So the first time you had Crumbl was in secret.
Yes. It was
in hiding in your car.
It was covert Crumbl.
Oh my gosh.
It was covert Crumbl.
That's amazing. I feel slightly honored to be a part of this moment that your family is going to find out about this.
Yeah, I don't mean to implicate you in this.
I feel like an accomplice a little bit, right?
A little bit.
Guilty by association.
Yes.
But I also feel slightly honored.
You know what? It's one of those things. It was kind of a secret romance. It was my lover's tryst with Crumbl that they couldn't really know about there. Yeah. And so now they do. But now it'd be a lot easier to just go because I know they're going to accept whatever I bring back from Crumbl and they're going to love it. And I can just come bearing gifts instead of eating that in my car alone.
There you go. It's a happy ending.
Yes,
and exactly. It ended up great. So this is the hardest question that I ask anyone on this show. Because it's just a hard one to answer.
Yep.
What are your, I'm going to go with 2. What are your top 2 favorite Crumbl cookie flavors?
Yeah. You know what? It's funny. We talked all about the variety and I always find myself going back to things with sort of a chocolate base.
Same.
It's just.
Love the chocolate. Yes.
The heart wants what it wants.
Yes.
I would say Oreo birthday cake is definitely up there. Mm-hmm. And then this one is probably the consensus favorite for everyone in my family, which I now know after my one visit shamefully there alone by myself.
Yes.
French soak pie. French soak pie is just a triumph of ingenuity.
Yes.
I got to walk around the building and meet everybody. I was personally thanking anyone who had had a hand in creating that cookie because of the joy it's brought to our lives.
That is what we like to hear. I mean, our mission statement, right, is bringing friends and family together. And so when there's a family who can bond over one cookie flavor, because that's what you guys all love, that's what we love to hear about. Oh, that's why we're here. That's why we're doing what we're doing. So.
Listen, I said the Crumbl drop videos, which are some of the best promotional material I've ever seen, as soon as it hits, logged right in my family's group chat. I don't even get to go on Instagram and see it half the time because it's already hit my phone.
They tell you before you can even see it.
It is an event each and every week.
That's so awesome. That's so great. Well, thank you for answering that. I know it was a difficult question, but it sounds like you knew.
It's like picking your favorite kid. You don't want to think you have them, but just like my family, where I'm definitely the favorite, everyone's got a favorite cookie too.
Exactly. You understand.
Yes.
You get it. Well, thank you so much for being here today. Comment below on the YouTube video if you're listening on Spotify Spotify or Apple, be sure to hop over to the YouTube video, comment your favorite sports team, and we're going to give a 4-pack away to one of the comments. So be sure to do that, and we will see you guys on the next episode. Bye.